Hello, this is Kevin Annett, Eagle Strong Voice. It's April 5th, 2021, and I have a public statement and media advisory regarding my forcible confinement and targeting by the Government of Canada that's happened over the last few days. Last Friday, April 2nd, I received from the Government of Canada an emergency order to isolate. This order falsely claimed that I had recently returned to Canada from another country, and therefore I had to immediately self-isolate or face 6 months in prison. I state here and now categorically that I did not leave Canada recently and that I did not and do not have any symptoms of any illness, including related to the alleged coronavirus, nor did I receive any quarantine papers to isolate. This fraudulent email, the so-called isolation order, was issued just 3 days before I was to co-chair a citizens' grand jury investigation into criminality by Canadian government officials, including the man whose department issued the order against me, Public Safety Minister Bill Blair. Blair is named in the grand jury indictment as a co-conspirator in crimes against humanity in Canada, along with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Acting Governor General Richard Wagner. Well, in response to this attack, yesterday, April 4th, the International Tribunal of Crimes of Church and State issued a notice of liability and a cease and desist order against these named conspirators, Bill Blair, Justin Trudeau, and Richard Wagner. The notice reads as follows. Dear Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Wagner, and Mr. Blair, on April 2nd, the Government of Canada notified Reverend Kevin Annett, a Canadian citizen, that he must self-isolate because he recently returned from the United States. In fact, Reverend Annett never entered the United States and was never issued papers to quarantine. Your government has therefore assaulted and defrauded Reverend Annett and is creating the climate for his forced confinement on false grounds. We state definitively that your government is targeting Kevin Annett for political persecution because of his outspoken role in establishing a republic in Canada and in bringing all of you to account for your complicity in domestic war crimes and crimes against humanity. As you know from our media release of April 3rd, the international community is aware of and is monitoring Reverend Annett's situation and is preparing to intervene on his behalf, including by offering protection and political asylum. We expect the first human rights observers to arrive and meet with Kevin Annett by tomorrow, that is today, Monday, April 5th. We therefore are issuing all three of you this notice of liability that holds you legally and personally liable for the damages and losses sustained thus far by Kevin Annett and for any future assaults, imprisonment, harassment, or other attacks on him by you or your agents, or by any officer of the Crown or the Government of Canada and its COVID agency. We require that you cease and desist immediately from further attacks on Kevin Annett. We expect a reply from all three of you within the next 48 hours, after which a summons will be issued and direct public actions will commence. And this is signed George Dufour, Acting Secretary of the International Tribunal of Crimes of Church and State in Brussels, London, and Vancouver. Copies were sent to the media, diplomatic and human rights representatives, lawyers, and to myself. Well, let me add to that statement. I am a sworn citizen and officer of the Sovereign Republic of Canada, which was established lawfully on January 15, 2015, according to the will of the people and their sovereign right of self-governance. As a citizen of a separate nation, I am now facing kidnapping and illegal rendition into a foreign prison whose jurisdiction I do not recognize, under unlawful COVID regulations never authorized by a court or legislative body, and according to a fraudulent isolation order. Such rendition is a crime against humanity under international law. If the Government of Canada does not immediately halt this violent attack against me and the sovereignty of my nation by tomorrow, April 6th, our courts and its international affiliates will charge Trudeau, Wagner, and Blair with a crime against humanity, and will also charge Canada before the world with engaging in an act of state terrorism and undeclared warfare against not only me, but the Republic of Canada. On that same date, Tuesday, April 6th, our Republic Grand Jury investigation will publicly summon those three individuals and others to answer 3 counts of an indictment concerning 1, their treasonous complicity with the government of China and crimes against humanity on Canada's west coast, 2, their active targeting of political dissidents in Canada, including common law and Republic of Canada activists, including by issuing false COVID isolation orders against them and funding recent black operations against me and the Republic. And thirdly, the third charge in the indictment, their complicity in the historic and ongoing trafficking, torture, and murder of Aboriginal men, women, and children across Canada. Let me now state clearly to everyone that as a sworn citizen and a co-convener of the Republic of Canada, I am bound to obey the laws of my nation. Laws that have outlawed and made punishable the COVID measures introduced unlawfully by the Government of Canada. In particular, I am obliged to respect and enforce the law passed by the people in our National Council of Common Law Assemblies on September 8, 2020. That law makes it a punishable offense to impose or cooperate with masking, social distancing, quarantining, and mandatory vaccinations anywhere in Canada. I cannot and will not commit treason against my conscience and the laws of my republic by submitting to arbitrary, fraudulent, and illegal orders to forcibly confine me against all reason, evidence, and justice. I call upon all Republic citizens and Canadians of goodwill to rally now to our movement to end these police state measures. I especially call upon the members of the RCMP, local police, and all Crown agents to refuse to enforce such unlawful measures and to nullify their oath of allegiance to Queen Elizabeth and the Crown of England, criminally convicted powers, and to their puppet politicians in Canada. These are the times that try the souls of all men and women, but those who go through the fire of repression, the fire of war, and fight to the end for justice and liberty will earn the thanks of all true citizens, and they will also earn the right to form and establish our new sovereign, free Republic of Canada. This is Kevin Annett, Eagle Strong Voice for the Republic, murderbydecree.com, republicofcanada.ca. Stand by for more.